How's it going, guys? It is Ryan here and welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're here in Bahrain for our next episode of the 2007 career mode, driving as Ralf Schumacher as always in the Toyota. Now as always we're doing the one lap quali rule, so we're going to be straight into that. Luckily for us though, we've got Fernando Alonso ahead of us there, so we're all going to get some slipstream off the Mclaren driver and we'll get a good lap there. But we have got Massa behind as well, so we need to be very wary of him on this lap. But Bahrain is a bit different for me, driving in the daytime compared to the night from the previous two F1 games of 2014 and 15, so it is nice to go back to a bit of daytime, but it is very overcast weather now, so we'll see how this goes as we're coming down towards the start of the middle sector now as we break into this very tricky first sector. I've got to say, not the best sectors for me on this track, but we'll have to wait and see. With a 29.6 first sector, which isn't too bad, and we're still keeping the gap to Massa behind and to Alonso, so the pace looks pretty good so far. Brake really late into the hairpin and we gain just a tad bit of time on Alonso, and we're going to get some slipstream from him as well as Adrian Sutil in the Spiker lets us through as we go into the double left-hander. Very tricky to get right here, and you could make a lot of mistakes with the lockup there, but Massa's been held up by the Spiker, so we won't have to worry about him getting any slipstream from us here as we go down the back straight now, right on the back of Alonso. As I said, with that slipstream there, going to drop it down a couple of gears there. Had the Fanatec double downshift glitch, which is a bit annoying on there, just cost a bit of time there, but we're still in the slipstream of Alonso here, as 2012 was very bad for the slipstream, I've got to say as well, from previous experiences playing this game. But we're going to be coming now down the straight now towards the final corner. It's another decent lap here from the first two sectors, breaking to the last corner, just clipping the curb there to give us a bit of a better exit. I'm now right on the back of Alonso now. This is where we're going to get a lot of slipstream down the straight, and it's going to be a 1:32.7, which provisionally puts us on P1 on the grid, first on the grid. And let's have a look at the grid now for the race for the Bahrain Grand Prix in our career mode.
Whilst we've got this time,
as you can see, we did get pole position by 8 tenths from Fernando Alonso, so fantastic achievement from us there, with Massa, Webber and Hamilton competing in the top 5. But now, let's head to the race. So we're here then on pole position for the Toyota here at Bahrain. An interesting qualifying, I have to say, from the pace of the cars, and Alonso's time was the actual lap where we were behind him, so I was quite concerned about that. So I may have to look in to making the AI just a bit quicker in qualifying, as for some reason that they only do their first lap and it's the quickest. So we'll try and get a look into that for the next episode, guys, in Spain. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes up. But we're going to be leaving the garage now onto the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, where we are on pole position. An excellent position to be in terms of the Drivers' Championship. Truly is in 11th, and the Spiker is at the back of the field, which is obviously going to happen. So we're on the grid then. The revs are building, the lights are on. The next episode of career mode, round number 3, is away here in Bahrain, and it's a great start from us once again. We get a brilliant launch as well, and Alonso and Massa side by side going into turn 1 here, braking a lot early. Massa's going for I think it was Alonso actually making a move, and there's been some contact behind. I believe it was Alonso making contact with Lewis Hamilton, so very poor start from the two McLarens there, making contact on the first corner, which moves Massa up to P2, and Hamilton's the big loser out of that, I've got to say, with Alonso up in third. So we may have a bit of side pod damage, which isn't really a factor on this game for performance issues on there, but we've already nearly pulled a second gap to Felipe Massa already. Then Fernando Alonso 1.1 seconds behind Massa, so the gap between us and Alonso is 2 seconds, and we're starting to pull away from the train along with Massa. So Massa's still with us here, but the train behind of Alonso, we need to get away as quickly as possible. But it's been a decent start from us, I've got to say. Very happy with the start in the first 2 sectors here. Just got to be careful of this corner with the double shifting glitch we've got with the wheels, so we need to be very careful there. Obviously we've gone for a bit of a different fuel strategy, and we've gone a bit more on the fuel, so it's a bit cautious from us, but we can burn a lot of fuel at the start of the stint, stay in rich mix, and get the car to where it needs to be. So Alonso's actually gained a bit of time on us there. We lost 8 tenths in the middle sector, so very cautious we've been on this first lap in an overall perspective, with Massa still behind us here. as we're going to be onto the straight now to start lap 2 of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And the gap behind him is 0.2 of a second, so not been too bad from us on there, as Kubica has joined the party. As Massa tried to go on the grass there, it looked like, to make a move, and it's a bit audacious on there, but he can't get the move done there, and is still in P2 on there. As always, it is a one-stop strategy. We'll be going on to the primes, and if anyone is new to this mod and the series, the option tyres are what we are now, and there's a grey striped on the second groove of the tyres on both sides, so that indicates us we are on the options, and no grey stripes at all is the prime tyre. And I want to thank someone who did mention it in the comments for the last video, so I want to prop that is. I apologise if I can't remember your name, but thank you for that. You said it in the comments for the last video. But we're on lap 3 now, and as you can see, Massa, Alonso, and I believe it's Kubica have started to pull away from the guy in 5th place. So there are 3 trains emerging. Me and the top 5. Then it's the top, then 6th to 10th, and then 10th to 11th to last are all in a train together on there. So the gap is around about 1.6 seconds covering the top 4 on there. So we're going to go on to the next lap actually. As you can see, me, Massa, and Alonso pulled away from Kubica, who's been wheeled in by the second train on there. And Massa's got a beautiful run on the last corner. He's going to get the slipstream with the Ferrari-powered engine, and he's going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. This is going to be pretty close. This is going into 1. Now someone's retired from the race. I've just spotted as well. We're going to hold the inside, have a bit of a lock-up on the front right, but we managed to hold on to position as Alonso made the move on the inside, the outside of Massa, and moves up to P2, and is thinking of a move down the inside into turn 3, but just can't find the room and the position to make a pass, and it stays as it is on there. So Alonso moves up to 2nd, Massa drops to 3rd, and Kubica stays as it is. But on the next lap, as you can see, Massa got past Alonso again, so it's back to where it started on the grid in terms of the top 3. So they've done very well, I've got to say, as we're going to be going into the pits, going to be pitting a lap early to do a bit of an undercut to try and gain a bit of time on the lead pack. May hinder us here if we get into traffic, so we've got to wait and see as we go into our pit box now. And once again, you may be wondering why the guy's going very slowly. It is part of the mod and makes it more realistic for us to experience what the pit stops were like in the 2007 days. So we're coming out the pit lane now. It is a decent stop as Nick Heidfeld sets the fastest lap now, 35.3 on there, as we're going to come out around about P16, P17, just behind the 2 Hondas, which is not what I wanted at all. As we're trying to go past Rubens Button, but just nowhere to go. Just clipped the right rear of his tyre. So this could hinder us here on our outlap. The outlap is very critical to jumping a few positions on the grid or maintaining the lead of the race, as they're both going very slowly now. Barrichello is holding up his teammate, and Button is holding us up, as we're going to go down the outside of Button and Rubens Barrichello and make 2 positions in a corner. Done and dusted on there, and we brake and we lock up the front right, which pushes us very wide. And obviously the auto slowdown comes into play when you go off the track, and we lose a lot of time actually, and we lock up the front lefts again, and not what we wanted, nearly losing it completely as both Hondas get past us there. So that is not what we wanted at all during this outlap, which will most likely cost us the lead of the race here. So I'm a bit annoyed with that, but we've got to take it on the chin and we've got to continue with the race. We can still win this, but we've got to put in a lot of good times to stand any chance of getting a decent finish there. Just going a bit wide with the dirty F on Button's Honda, as we're going to try and go on the outside of him now, out of the penultimate corner, and we get it done nicely as Kubica set to 34.9 on there. So it's very good from the Sauber driver, who have been pretty strong this season, I've got to say, on there. But we're on to the back of Rubens Barrichello, who I believe will pit this time. I believe. No, he doesn't. He stays out. As we're going to go down the inside of Rubens and up to P16. A lot of people are in the pit lane, as you can see, but we are going to lose out to Fisichella, who's just come out the pit lane there, and also Felipe Massa, you can see, just out of turn 2. So we've lost a lot of positions there, which is not what I wanted at all. Bit disappointing, but we've got to take it on the chin and we've got to continue pushing. Those little mistakes can cost us big time, and that has just proven the point. On this, we go on to lap 7 now. As you can see, Massa's been held up by Christian Albers and a Super Aguri, and we've got Fisichella behind him as well. As we're now into this train now, we're going to get a bit of draft from Giancarlo Fisichella in that Renault. We're going to try and go around the outside of him into this corner, and can we get it done? Getting a bit of dirty F from Massa, and we just about hold it round the outside of Fisichella. We're up to P11. So a very good move there from us. Very risky as well with a dirty air coming off Fisichella. But we're going to get a beautiful run now on Massa, who's still being held up by Christian Albers in the spiker. So we're going to try and take this opportunity now. Just stay back a bit. And actually, no, we tried to make a move there, but it was just too late. I had to dive out of the way to avoid any contact with Massa. So we're going to wait now till the straight to try and make a pounce on him, as we've got Albers in the pits as well, along with Anthony Davidson. As we're going to go around the outside of Massa, down the pit straight, and we're going to take P5 on there. So we lost 4 positions in the pit stop phases there. So that's a bit disappointing from us, as Raikkonen, I believe Kovalainen's up there as well, Alonso, and I can't think who else it was, but we've lost out 4 positions. Very disappointing. Even Massa as well, who were leading this race, but we're going to go on to lap 8, and as you can see, we're right on the back of Kimi Raikkonen as well, and I think it's Kubica in the battle as well, as we're going to be braking now towards the final corner. We're going to try and get a good exit here as we do so, and we're going to try and get past Raikkonen now, as Alonso goes past the Renault of Kovalainen and moves up to P2, who will be hunting down Kubica, who is the race leader. As we're going to try and go into turn 1 here, try and get past Raikkonen. Maybe as we just have a bit of a double lock up there on the front tyres, and Massa goes round the inside of both me and Raikkonen and moves up to P4, but we've just been held up here by Raikkonen, with Fisichella trying to make a move on us there, but we stay in P6 as Massa's made a big gain from that, and he's already on the back of Heikki Kovalainen. So we're having lockups galore here at the minute, which won't hinder our tyres, which is not what we wanted, of course. As 2.7 we lost in the first sector there. We're all over the back of Raikkonen now, which is obviously what we need to have to break into the hairpin as Alonso, as we nearly go into the back of Raikkonen, who breaks really early for the corner, and Fisichella gets the move done as we have to lock up and get out of the way from hitting the back of Raikkonen and losing our front wing. So very disappointing lap this is from us. We made a load of mistakes and avoiding making incidents with cars, so not what we wanted. And it's round 2 between us and Fisichella at the same corner we overtook him earlier. We're going to go down the inside maybe of him as he leaves the door open there. We took a bit of curb there, so we won't try and make an illegal overtake, and we maintain position there. As we're going to still go round, try and stay in there with the dirty air from that Renault, pushing us very wide, so the setup needs a bit of work on if we had an extra time to do it. So Webber's now 1.8 seconds behind us, so we need to be careful of him, as we really wanted to stay in the points here. We'll get 2 points, which is okay, I guess. It doesn't really affect us in the championship, fighting for it, as Raikkonen's ahead of us here. As I'm just trying to think where to try and pass Fisichella at some stage here. As we're coming down the straight to start lap 10 with only 5 laps to go of the race. We've got a beautiful run. We're going to go round the outside of Fisichella into turn 1. And we get it done brilliantly there, around the outside of him. And we move back to P6 there. As Kovalainen is struggling now on his tyres, as it seems, as Raikkonen is going to try and go around the outside of Kovalainen into turn 4. And he gets it done nicely and moves up to P4. And now we're over the back of Kovalainen now. And maybe we could try and squeeze a podium here, as we've gone purple in the first sector. We've gone round the outside of Kovalainen and move up to P5. Just a bit wide on exit as well, but we get it done nicely. And that is jolly well done there, as we're in the top 5 and Raikkonen is now ahead of us. And it would be nice to get past him, as it will mean we'll gain a bit on the championship leader in this race, in the season, as we've got Spain coming up next, which is a very strong track of mine, I will say, with this Toyota doing the pre-season testing. So we'll have to wait and see how it pans out, as we go very wide on exit, which won't hinder us a bit, as Kovalainen will get past us with the slowdown we just got from going off the track. So we're back to square one again, as we're now in a Renault sandwich. Now, as we're going to try and get past Kovalainen as quickly as possible, right on the back of him now. Maybe thinking of a move on the inside of the last corner. We've got to wait and see. Now, as we get a beautiful run on him now, he's going defensive, so we're going to try and hook it round the outside of him to the last corner, and we do it nicely round the outside, and we're back to P5, but Kovalainen's got a better exit than us. We have to go up to Rich to try and hold him off, and Fisichella goes with us and goes past Kovalainen up to P6, as Alonso sets a 34.8, as we're going to be braking now into turn 1, braking really late for the corner. We lock up, we're going to go off the track now into turn 1. We won't cut the track because we're going to get a penalty, but we're going to come back on, and we've made contact with someone coming back on the track, which is not what we wanted, but nothing. I think it was Kovalainen actually had to slow down, so very poor from us there in terms of coming back on the track. But if you cut the entire turns 2 and 3, 1 and 2, sorry, you will get a penalty. So that's why I made the decision, and it was a bit of a risky one. I should have really checked my mirrors on there, which won't really help, as you're going to see momentarily, as we go very wide there. But we're going to go on to the next lap. Going into the first corners, Alonso now sets a 34.6 as he hunts down Robert Kubica. And again, we're going to be very cheeky, brake really late, shifted too quickly, goes very wide again. We're going to come back on, try and go on smoothly, but there's a train there, and we just hit Webber on the side, and he spins, and we're going to get a penalty for it. We do indeed. That was completely my fault, understandable, and we get a 20-second time penalty, which is not what we wanted, of course, but that was a fair slam dunk penalty, I've got to say. Just didn't see Webber going out in the corner so quickly onto our mirrors, and that happened. So a bit annoying there, but we get past Cove Line, so maybe a cheeky move from there, I've got to say. So I was a bit disappointed that that happened, but we've got to take it on the chin and learn from next time to check our mirrors, and hopefully a lot of you guys do in real life. So make sure to check your mirrors, guys, before coming back on the track or coming onto a road. But you can see we're really struggling on these tyres. Just got no grip whatsoever. So I had to go to the rear brake just to see if that helps with the braking and see if that has any odds to the car, as we've got only a few laps to go of the race. And again, we go wide, but we keep it on the track on there. But we're going to be going now on to the final lap of the race. Nothing really happened there. We tried to build a gap to Cove Line and Co to try and get away with the 20-second penalty, but obviously that's not going to happen at all. As we come into the final sector now for the final time, we've gone purple as well in the middle sector, which is promising, I've got to say. But I don't think we'll get the fastest lap of the race, unfortunately. But we're going to be coming now towards the final corners, and Fernando Alonso will win here in Bahrain, just pipping Robert Kubica to the line. But we're going to come out the final corner. We're not going to be finishing in P6, unfortunately. We're going to be dropping down the table with that 20-second penalty, so it's very poor, disappointing race that is from us. And we're about to find out where we're going to finish. We finish in P12. Very disappointing there with the penalty. On an overall race, it was disappointing with the pace in the middle stint to the end. So we've got to take that on the chin with a performance as Hamilton finished P14 with the contact with Alonso. So not what we wanted really, as Raikkonen did win from Robert Kubica as well. So very close at the top there, with Massa in third, Raikkonen fourth, and Fisichella completing the top 5 on there. So overall disappointing race, I've got to say, but we'll see how that result stands in the overall standings for our career mode on F1 2007 mod. Let's see what the standings are right now. And into the standings now, Raikkonen now has 25 points, now has a 10-point lead over ourselves as Ralf Schumacher, with Hamilton now a point behind in third. Robert Kubica's great performance today puts him in P4, tied with 2 other drivers in Heikki Kovalainen and Fernando Alonso. Massa is a point behind the 3 of them in 7th, with Nick Heidfeld in 8th with 7 points, and Giancarlo Fisichella and Mark Webber complete the top 10, both tied on 5 points. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the career mode. Make sure to slap a like on it, sorry. And the next episode is at Spain, and let's try and hit a target today, guys, of 70 likes for this episode of career mode. But until next time, guys, in Spain, have a great day, and I shall see you guys for a brand new video. Until then, have a great day, guys, and take care. See you later.